Bonjour, and welcome to all of you comic book geeks, readers and collectors to another back issue haul. Yes, from my two muckers over at Comics and Fantasy, Hornchurch, Essex. Hello, Paul. And New Dawn Comics over at Rayleigh, in Essex. Hello there, Jamie. Faithfully assisted by Lizzie on top form this weekend. And this is what I picked up. A nice half and half of Marvel DC. Nice bit of Silver Age. If you want to stay to after my scroll, there are a couple of books here, these Silver Age books, that I'm going to do a little deep dive on. Because when you have a little look at some of the... We'll get to them. We're going to start off with these Iron Man annuals. Now, when you're collecting bronze or Silver Age, the kind of annuals are the last ones you think of, but you don't need, if you're collecting, you do need to, I think anyway. So this was a nice little run of annuals. Well, I say run, it's not a complete run, but a nice little acquisition of annuals. And yeah, this is nothing, there's nothing outstanding here. And like I said to you last week, these Iron Man, I mean, this is Gucci, Butch, when he was called Jackson. It's Butch Gucci. Bless, he's no longer with us, but I still can't pronounce his name. And Bob Layton, obviously, Bob Layton had such a long run on this, like plotting, penciling, inking, etc., etc. He was all over the place, wasn't he? But, and there's Gucci and Layton. I'm going to say Gucci and Layton again. And then, I mean, some of these covers are great, and some not so great. Like I say, surprising this, Barry Windsor Smith inking Bob Layton's pencils. Love it. Made it just look like Barry Windsor Smith. That's a great cover. Other than that, this is all standard fare. It was that David Michelin writing period, like I say, Bob Layton all over it. They would swap out artists. It was when old Rhodey had his best haircut ever. Great stuff. It is just great stuff to just finish off the run. I mean, some of these, some of the storylines and that were just great. Looks like a John Byrne cover on this one. Yeah, suddenly there's a John Byrne cover. He's not doing the penciling or anything inside, but he did start writing it, which I don't know, had escaped me. I mean, I've tried following Byrne's artwork, mostly all my collecting life. From X-Men first, then FF, then even like over at Deep when I weren't buying any DC apart from the odd bods. He's writing, and John Romita Jr. on the pencils. So nice combo there. But yeah, so I followed Byrne around everywhere. But didn't know he was the writer on Iron Man. Don't think I was getting these at the time. I was on Iron Man earlier and came off. I was like probably in the hundreds. So what we call, yeah. Byrne and John Romita Jr. again. He's gonna make any story look great, isn't he? In these days. And John Byrne, it's not like he can't write, is it? But last couple. And this is, for me, this is peak. 1993. Look at the glare off that folio cover. Look. 1993. Look at the outfits. You had to have funkier outfits, didn't you? It was like Marvel versus everyone versus Image, and paper had to be glossier. Everything had to be lairier. Oh dear. Oh, Battle Royale between Iron Man and War Machine. That's what we liked during the 90s, quite well, and the 80s, to be fair, or late 80s. Iron Man versus War Machine. Yes. So that was thanks to Jamie and I've exhausted him with his Iron Man now. So if you're following my little back issue hauls, which thank you very much if you are, no more Iron Man. Okay, there's no more Iron Man. Right, let's do these little Silver Age gems next. Oh, look, 1970. Stan Lee and Jack Kirby on Kazar or Kazar, however you pronounce it. We've had this debate before, haven't we? So I won't go back. And also Roy Thomas and Wally Wood on the Doom. So you got the Kazar or Kaz now I don't know how to say it. You got your Kazar up the front with Lee and Kirby on it, and you've got, so it's just two stories in there. So your Doctor Doom story is Roy Thomas and Wally Wood, and that is going to be, we're going to have a little look at Wally Wood's artwork. We've all seen Kirby's artwork, so what I want to do is have a deep dive after my scroll. We'll have a little look at Wally Wood's artwork on Doctor Doom, shall we? Same again in this one, but I'll just do it on the issue 1. You know, I won't go to town. Do you know, on the, I won't bore you all. And guess who's doing Kazar in this one? Barry Smith before he went to Windsor. Ha! So we're going to have a look at that as well. Barry Windsor Smith. So this would have been 71-ish. So this would have been around the same time he was either doing Conan or before Conan or during 1971-ish. 1970. Maybe I reckon this predates Conan, to be fair. That's going to be interesting to have a look at that on a deep dive, is it not? Same again there. He's on good old Kazar, Barry Smith. Old Trimpy was doing the artwork on Kazar in this one. And Gene Colan on Doctor Doom. Beautiful stuff. And talking of beautiful stuff, oh yes. Oh yes, Neal Adams X-Men. Oh yes. The layouts in this, and obviously his artwork, Neal Adams' artwork, but this will blow your mind when I do a deep dive on this. Beautiful doesn't describe it. Stunning gets there. Kazar again. You might have to subtitle this whole Kazar. Good old Magneto. Another Adams from my old mate Paul. Thanks for that, Paul. And these were back over in Rayleigh. That was the last of the reprints, wasn't it? Yeah, that's just, again, nothing to write home about, but they're just old Silver Age comics that I need. This was the last of the reprints, 93. Picked up 94 the other day, didn't I? Didn't really take a lot of notice. What is it, 67 to 93, is it? Again, another couple of odd bods from Jamie. But I just love the stuff. And every now and again, you do pick up a little surprise. But in the meanwhile, I just like picking up. I just like picking up this old stuff. Just makes a change. And I will pick up Sergeant Rock and Joe Cuba whenever I can. Even for the covers. And the money they are when they turn up. You might as well. And that was the best stuff, the ones you can get your teeth into. Not to say, we'll do after the scroll. I bought 3 sets, modern age sets. I'll just quickly rattle through them. I won't show every cover, and then we'll get that scroll over and done with, and then we'll get on the deep dive and look at some Neal Adams, Barry Windsor Smith, and Wally Wood art. This little set, gonna have it. Not so much for the Warren Ellis. I kind of went off him a bit. No, nothing to do with that. We don't go there. It wasn't anything to do with that. I don't know. I think he just started getting a bit of a one-trick pony. But with Brian Hitch artwork, I'm going to have some of that. Widescreen. You know, I've described Hitch's work in the past as widescreen. I can't wait to jump into this widescreen Batman. The Batman's Grave. And Kevin Nolan doing the inking. Dream artistic team. Absolute, look at these stunning covers. Stuff like that, look, yes. As only Hitch can do a character, look, yes. Batman. So like I say, I won't go through every cover of that. And this is another modern series that I got the last couple of issues and thought, oh yeah, great. I'll be able to get the first 10. Not until now. This little set turned up. my old mate Paul, he knew where to go with this. I was just really enjoying like I say, the last couple of issues I picked up. I tried it and thought, yeah, but they're a little bit harder to get hold of. Maybe, I don't know. With the ordering on Diamond, love beautiful artwork. No, it's Dan Moore's doing the covers. That's why. He doesn't do the interior art, but the artist who does Poochie, yeah, this was gorgeous stuff. Really did enjoy that. So I'm pleased I finally got the set. I've got doubles of the last 2 or 3 issues, so let me know in the comments. I'm only joking. We saved that for eBay, don't we? And then another little set. Human Target. I've been enjoying this older stuff that Tom King has been doing. I recently got the Adam Strange set. Before that, I got the Supergirl. Yes, I did miss it first time round. I got the Supergirl set. So I thought, why not? He's not exactly a character on my radar, but these covers are beautiful as well. You know, but like I say, I've enjoyed the older sets of his that I've bought. But yeah, these are, who's the artist on these covers? I don't know who the artist is on these, but they're superb. You know, if you're going to sell, look at that Martian Manhunter in the background of that one. Look, awesome. Green Lantern. He does like playing around with all the tools in the box, doesn't he, Tom? Like a bit like with the Adam Strange one. It's never going to be just Adam Strange. There was a lot of, you know. I don't blame him. Don't blame him if you're going to, you know, why not play with all the toys in the box? Ah, look at that cover. That's superb. That is absolutely superb. Like I say, won't show all the covers. There's another nicely designed one there. Reminds me of Darwin Cook a little bit. No, maybe not. Anyway, enough of my pondering and procrastinating on the front of the camera. If you like the look of that, please join me after the scroll for a deep dive looking at issue of X-Men, Neal Adams, an issue of Astonishing Tales featuring Wally Wood, and another issue of Astonishing Tales featuring Barry Windsor Smith around that Conan, the start of his Conan journey. So welcome back, you Silver Age comic book artwork aficionados, you. Come on, we might as well look at a bit of Kirby, mightn't we? There's never a time when you don't want to look at a bit of Lee and Kirby action. From 1970 is there with Craven the Hunter. I mean, that's a match made in heaven, isn't it? Unless Craven's there to hunt the animals in the savage land, I don't know. But anyway, there's a bit of classic. The only way Kirby could do a hand. With the thumb the wrong way round. That's that hand. Hello? Yeah, but didn't we love him? Still the greatest. Still the absolute greatest. Probably better when he had a real good inker with him on his side, and then he didn't go mental, did he? Well, no, of course he did. Of course he did. But anyway, there's a bit of Lee and Kirby, Craven and Kazor. And here we go. The star of the show for me is Wally Wood on. Look at this. Just look at this splash page with. Does it not remind you of his old EC comics? Whether he was doing the sci-fi, particularly the sci-fi, obviously with Doctor Doom, but when Doctor Doom had a gun. And in one of the other stories, he's got a jetpack. So yes, Doctor Doom's got a gun. Look at this. It's lovely stuff. As only Wally Wood could deliver. One of those artists that makes it look easy. Lovely stuff. I knew this. I think this was the tale of Prince Rudolfo. That was it. Prince Rodolfo, he's revolting, isn't he? Oh, never mind. Who can forget? But a good match for Wally Wood on this, because you need the Latvian, you know, even this little panel at the beginning, I notice it's such a simply done, but that is Wally Wood all over. But just that little picture of Latveria, that tells you everything you need to know in that panel. That's what you call a comic book artist. And again, all this stuff, it just keeps reminding me of the EC sci-fi stories he did, which is a good thing. Good thing. Look at his, compared to Kirby, look at the kind of the anatomy, like his, like the anatomy was dead on. Like, what are two opposing sides of comic book art, where Kirby was exaggerated and it was bursting off the page, and then you got Wally Wood, contained, everything where it should be: arms, legs, feet, hands. He used the Kirby crackle though. So two artists from different spectrums of the artistic, what would be the word? From two different ends of the artistic spectrum, shall we say, in one comic, but both at the top of their game. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful. And then in issue 4, look at what we get here. Look at what we get. When he was called Gerard Conway. Before he changed to Jerry Conway, and Barry Smith before he went to Windsor. And here we go. This would have been, so this is February 71. So weren't that was really around the Conan time. So yeah, but look at it. Another artist at the, you know, only just starting out. So I won't say at the top of his game, but certainly had like landed. You know, by now he'd been working, I don't know, three, maybe 4 years for Marvel, on and off, with odd bits and bobs. But look, this is where figure work like that, the perspective on that one panel, you know, like the camera angle, for want of a better description. You know, the dynamism of someone running, look, fighting the unicorn. Love it. I can't wait to get reading these. Oh look, we've got a pterodactyl. That's going to be, we're going to be having a look at a pterodactyl in the next X-Men comic. But yeah, just some lovely Barry Windsor Smith artwork. Or when he was Barry Smith, non-Windsor. You can see some of the themes, some of the stylistic themes he was exploring, even back in 1971, that he carried through. He carried through his career. Love it. Death to Kador. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. There we go. There's more Wally Wood. The Invaders. Oh, is that actually the Invaders? Oh, here we go. There's his jetpack. So he's got his gun, who someone's coloured in green instead of brown. Who's the colourist on that? Who missed that? Oh, it was Wally Wood by the looks of it. Or I don't know if he coloured it or not. But there is no colourist. Yeah. Versus the Red Skull. If he strikes now, victory will be mine. And look, he's got a fag on as well. Look, lovely. Different times, hey? Different times. And last up, guys, am I saving the best to last? Of course I am. Just take a look at this. This is 1969, so it predates all that I showed you. And, you know, I'm saying artists at the top of their game, but look at this. Now, I would have been introduced to this. I remember reading this X-Men stuff in the black and white reprints in England, you know, and it would have been in the, blimey, late 80s. Late 70s, early 80s. So when I was first getting right into Marvel, you know, this is you know, I've had a couple of these X-Men comics before, but it's been nice to grab hold of this little run. There's only 3 issues that I grabbed hold of, but look at the artwork in this stuff. Look at this stuff. Oh, look. Shame about the colouring light and the wasset split down the middle, but back in 1969, no wonder he was blowing people away. I mean, Sauron versus Angel, he's always going to lean in, you know, an artist can really lean into that. Look at, Marvel Girl, Jean Grey when she was Marvel Girl. Oh, listen, I am a geeky old hog and I love that era. Sorry, guys. I love Marvel Girl. And you know what? I loved Invisible Girl. And I love Mr. Fantastic, okay? Look. This is great. Just great stuff. What he brings to every panel. And this is obviously Neal Adams. You know, he's probably only a couple of years in. Would it have been 66, 67? He kind of come onto the scene. Like, as in, you know, he'd been around a little bit before that. But lovely stuff. You know, he gets all this stuff right as well. I don't know, he just brought something to his art, didn't he? Just his style, just something about it. You know he's having bad thoughts here, didn't you? The way he's kind of made it a bit more moody. So just, and yeah, like I say, another artist who was always at the top of his game. Sauron's naughty, isn't he? Hey. Lovely stuff. Now Hank's trying to have a go. The Beast. Is he still called the Beast? Is that allowed anymore? Is that still allowed? I'm only being facetious, guys. Okay. Don't at me. Lovely stuff. But I just, the opening for me was just so impactful. Like those panels there with Sauron and his wings, you know, the panels within him unfurling his wings, look, and the colours. Beautiful stuff, and we'll leave it there. And thank you if you joined me for that little deep dive. And thank you if you watched the first bit as well, all the way through. I really do appreciate it. You must be one of my sexy subscribers. I love you so much. If you're not subscribed already, please do and be sexy. Be really sexy and subscribe. And until the next one, I'm going to bid you all adios.